Thank you so much for joining us, this time with round 4 coverage. That's the final round of the 2021 Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Championships, and I am standing here next to Elaine King. How are we doing today?
I'm doing great, and the weather is doing great. Finally, we've got a break for the women. Looks like there's going to be clear skies today, but maybe some variable winds.
Yes, the wind is definitely up, but like you said, the rain is in the rearview mirror, and these ladies should have pretty reasonable conditions to play this final round. Hole 1 is going to be playing with a pretty severe right to left wind off of the tee, so we'll see if that wreaks havoc on any of the shots, but we should say Missy Gannon coming in with the lead.
That was really great to see Missy throw a bogey-free round yesterday with all the rain.
Yes.
I mean, it was not good conditions, and it's not like it was an easy course. This isn't your average B-tier course, and she was bogey-free, which is astounding. So very rightly, she is heading off with the lead here on hole number 1.
Yeah, Missy is just really one of the most consistent players, both on the green and off the tee we see, so no shock to see her in this position, but a little bit too turned over, but she makes it past the log, so she's got an opportunity for birdie.
Absolutely. And, we've seen some women miss the Mandos. From your first shot right out of the gate, we've got a bit of a tester. We've got the Mandos left and right. We've got a low ceiling, and then we've got those rocks and a log. So there's a lot of obstacles on this hole. And as you said, with the wind, I think the women are just trying to get it down there. And if they can get a 2, fantastic. That's a bonus.
Yes. Haley King, you saw kind of hyzering out to that left side. She is in second place, tied with this woman, Valerie Mondahano, who's looking to really keep the hot starts she's had going. I swear she's thrown that exact shot on hole 1 every round we filmed.
I think it's landed the same place, just a few feet outside the circle.
Now Owen Scoggins rounding out our lead card. She made an appearance on lead card for the last 2 rounds last year at Women's National Championships, so good to see her back in the mix.
Ooh, that was a little early, but let's see if she can get through. I'm not sure she's gotten through that bush hedgerow thing, so we'll see. But meanwhile, Haley's got to contend with a little shrubbery in front of her.
I love it. Haley always opts for the Tiger on Sunday red. You always see her black pants, red shirt for the final round. You know she's gunning for this championship.
Well, it's kind of I guess, something that motivates you. If there's a favorite outfit you wear and it's the same every week.
Had to scramble already on hole 1.
Well, it is a hole that you sometimes have to scramble
yes,
on.
No question.
And, you scramble this way on one hole, and, every hole here, we should mention, every single hole is scary in its own right.
Yes, very true. Missy there giving it, a half go, but should have a pretty routine comeback for the par. Valerie looking to take a stroke early. Just short. Look good, though. Confident, firm. Just like that one, Missy. That's a confidence-boosting putt. Maybe 15, 16 feet, enough for it to fly, but, not too much pressure from a long putt. She's feeling it.
Absolutely. And you can see the sun shining. Such a change from yesterday. And so I think all the women will be feeling really positive and so excited to be on the lead card at this prestigious disc golf event. We've got the media, we've got the crowds, and off to just a steady start.
Yep, all pars, no harm, no foul. You can see the scores there. Missy maintaining that 1-stroke lead over both Haley and Valerie. Hole 2 now, par 4, 534 feet. We've said it before, the tee shot, not too much to be afraid of.
Yeah, you can really get behind your tee shot. The one thing is don't put it too high, otherwise it'll get cut down soon.
Yes.
But it's just about getting distance so that you can place yourself for that all-important second shot.
Yeah, we've seen a little bit of disastrous strike on, speaking of Heather specifically, when she tried to hang it out over that OB, kind of showing us the danger on that left side. But my guess is we're going to see some pretty good shots here, as all of our players are very good low-line throwers.
Yeah, and Missy just not dealing too much with the overhead branch. She keeps it fairly low. You don't have to get max distance. You just want to get that disc out into the field just to give yourself a chance. And Haley just bombs one.
That is unbelievable. When you're turning the second cam, you're doing something right.
Exactly. That's the farthest I've seen any of the women get off the tee on hole number 2.
Oh, no, that... Yeah. Thought it might contend with that tree, but she's in the open and has a, albeit longer than you want, but an approach to the basket at least.
Absolutely.
Own, going backhand, really loves these kind of slapped over flat shots.
And I think every single disc in Own's bag is super overstable.
Yes.
I'm not sure I've ever seen her throw anything that is even, a straight flyer.
Valerie is off to this right side. Yeah, she always talks about the 175 max weight champ destroyer that she throws. I think she almost prides herself on throwing the big heavy discs.
I think so. And that fortunately ground to a halt before it had a chance to jump over into the parking lot, and we do get the green flag.
Missy really in a good position.
Yeah, she's got that gap in front of her that you want to hit on your way to the basket. She'll want to throw it very flat.
Which she does. Missy taking down the Des Moines Challenge earlier this year. Really the biggest win she's had in her career. So taking down a tournament of this caliber would really just bring that to the next level.
Absolutely. Although technically this is an A-tier tournament. It's not a major like the men's. I mean, remember the women had their U.S. Women's Disc Golf Championship in California this summer.
And finding that out of bounds, kind of like we mentioned, Heather in round 2. Same fate here for Owen. Is going to have to be throwing comparably from where Heather is, but 2 strokes worse.
And Haley is very... She was in a great position, and she really misfired that. I'm not quite sure what she was thinking. Maybe the tree actually was getting a little bit in her swing, and she didn't really realize it. But it looks like Owen is going to correct her mistake with that beautiful shot.
Yeah, quality backhand onto the green. Valerie, outside look at a birdie here.
Well, she's giving it some height, but not on the mark. And the nice thing about that particular lie is she will not have those guardian sticks to deal with.
Now, speaking of them, Haley finds one there. Is going to be saddled with the par after the really, frankly, unbelievably good drive.
Oh, it was an amazing drive, and Haley is going to absolutely be kicking herself that she was not able to capitalize on that.
Good putt. Valerie just has these first few holes, dialed. That isn't a birdie, but she didn't really make any big mistakes, and she's just right on the precipice of getting the birdies.
And you're right. She's come out guns blazing in the first 3 rounds, playing the first number of holes extremely well.
Birdie there from Missy, and that's what you like to see. Get the momentum going and, get your round started off with a little bit of blue.
And Owen takes a bogey with that second shot that she just didn't get any height on. But, that was just one shot wrong. She absolutely made up for it, putting it right by the basket. So hopefully she will not let that get her down, because it's very early in the round and so many holes.
Yeah, Owen came out with the 6 over par during the first round on our feature card coverage and really has battled her way back since then, finding her way onto this lead card. So, if anything, we know she's not quitting anytime soon.
Oh, not at all. She's very fiery. And we come to hole 3. This is such an interesting hole. It's very fun to throw because it's downhill. But you'll notice that hazard marking to the left. It goes behind the basket. It comes back over to the right. So the player plays it where it lies if it goes into the hazard.
Yes.
But you still want to almost treat it like OB and be, very precise in the shot.
It's one of those holes where the hazard actually is, probably more punitive than the OB, especially if you're finding it, near the basket, because you're not just taking it from where it was last in, relief towards the pin. You're putting it from your 50, 60 feet away.
Exactly, and that's the idea of it being hazard, is it doesn't give you an advantage to just bomb it out of bounds and say, oh, well, I can make my circle 3.
Mm-hmm. Haley, a little bit of air. Yeah, finds the tree, and she's going to have a long look for her birdie. Makeable, though. This hole in particular, sorry to cut you off, this hill feels like Valerie's wheelhouse. She has parked it every round that we've filmed. Let's see if she can get back on the horse here.
Yeah, and she throws that stable disc. She pushes it to the right, and it always seems to filter through. Now, this time it was not as successful in filtering. And Owen, she's probably going to throw something stable.
Yeah, if we know anything about Owen, it's going to be coming back left. Looks good. Oh, looks great.
And, you can see from the tee, she just fired it right into that bush line. And just trusting her disc, knowing it was going to come hard left at the end.
Wow.
Missy somehow got herself way tangled in there.
Yeah, this is an interesting lie. You see Tom, her boyfriend, and Caddy giving her the advice. They're, really inseparable. You see them playing practice rounds early in the morning, basically every day coming up to an event. It's a great player-caddy relationship.
Yeah, and I mean, Tom certainly seems to be a really calming influence, and, never seen him consult with Missy and have anything other than a good shot coming out of it.
Exactly. You have, as a caddy, it is a very specific relationship between the two people. It really is more about the calming presence more than any information they're going to pass on to the player. The player's usually got that part covered.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell someone how to throw.
Exactly.
Like they don't know how to throw. It's more about the confidence booster or the confirming, I believe that is a good strategy.
Totally. Wow, Missy, now, she's got some meat left on the bone for her bogey here. Oh, good putt. She is such a good putter. It's actually crazy.
Well, we've got a whole card full of women who are great putters, every single one of them, and very different styles too. You can see Owen often flutters it. Haley with that swing of her long arm from her shoulder like a hinge, and Valerie almost takes it from her stomach and thrusts it forward. So very, very different putting styles, all equally effective.
Owen is going to take the birdie, pick up 2 strokes on Missy, and if you're chasing Missy, that is what you're looking for. Just little slips that you can take a stroke here and there makes all the difference, because hole 4 is a bit of a tricky one, especially if you don't have really a sidearm dominant throw. We saw Paige Pierce able to get some birdies on it with her backhand and sidearm play, so it's possible, but we'll see if any of these ladies maybe play the pulled over backhand like Paige or leave it off to the left like I'm guessing Owen may.
Well, we've got some very proficient sidearm throwers, so I'd expect to see a number of sidearms, but Owen has got a backhand lined up.
I like the backhand off the tee at least. Well, maybe not that one, but actually she pushed left that she might almost have a chance at it still.
So there's the sidearm play. Oh, she says nope.
Whoa, she boomed it.
You always know when Haley doesn't like her shot because she turns away immediately and doesn't look. And then the rest of us have to look because she doesn't know where it went.
Yeah. Valerie, nice turning drive. Could end up perfect.
Look at how beautiful that is. I mean, that if you're throwing backhand, that's exactly what you want to do.
Missy looking to follow up. No, she's probably just playing it out to this left side, giving herself a little bit more room to work the backhand into the pin.
Yeah, now if you're going to decide that a 3 really isn't very likely for your game, there is nothing wrong with putting it out left in the field. And Owen trying to get around the corner, and she didn't turn it as much as she likes. Now we're doing the sidearm. That's actually a long way to go sidearm.
I know, and Missy not known for her sidearm, but dang, that's a pretty solid shot.
That was. I would have loved to have seen her throw that from the tee.
I know. Kind of surprised she played it so passive off to the left, but oh man, Haley, she boomed that, but really is left with not much. Yeah.
Well, she's out in the open, and she's still in position to get a par. Whereas Valerie is in excellent position for a birdie.
Got it up high. Careening to the right, and she's going to be in a great position for her birdie there. Compromised stance, but with the sidearm, it really plays to be able to lean out. That is such a good shot. Just slow. Oh,
Just
no.
needs to stop.
Oh, come on. In the bushes a little bit.
We're going to have to see how much that tree's going to impede her. And that was
Whoa.
another, what I'll call like a lazy shot.
Yeah, fortunate to get through the trees.
Yeah, fortunate to get around the corner at all. I know what she was trying to do. She just wanted to loft it in there, but you still have to give it some spin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Missy just not even playing games with this downhill green. Oh, good putt.
And she was all inside that
She
tree.
was.
Such a great putter. And, you know, she makes it look easy.
Mm-hmm.
For her birdie.
Oh, just off the mark. You know she wanted it. Would have been a stroke on the card.
It certainly would have. She pulled it a little bit. You could see that as she let it go. She extended forward, and then her hand drifted to the right.
Mm-hmm.
So the disc was going to drift to the right. When you follow through, you want to follow through right straight into the basket.
Missy cleaning up after the layup. See if Valerie can make those adjustments on the putting green going forward. But after 4 holes, Missy still on top. Not too much movement. It is just so strange to be calling the action on a lead card without Paige Pierce. Can I just say that? After yesterday's round, not really in contention on the 4th card, I believe. So I'm sure she's making moves, but I think this one's going to go to a new victor this year.
It almost certainly will. I don't think Paige can make up the strokes. And the women, as we see, have got up to a great start.
Yes.
Everyone looks confident. They're throwing well. And I think it's exciting that there is such a depth of field and so many women who have the skill set to take this down. And they're going to need all of their skills on hole number 5.
Yes, it is a toughie. First shot, really you got to choose, are you being aggressive or are you just playing for a good footing and placement? Airing it out over that ravine, and I feel like that's so important on your second shot to be past that.
Yeah, that little ravine is very tough if you get caught in it. And all these women have the distance to get over that. Haley, I love the way she throws that understable disc, getting it really high. She gets so much distance out of it. And it's a very controlled shot for her, too.
Ooh, Valerie pulls it a little, but if it
Makes it over much of it. She's not in a bad position, but short of where she would like to have been.
Yeah, the second drive, or the second shot, I should say, really about putting yourself in a good position to cross the water if that's your choice. So just as long as you're not, way up on the hill, you're probably going to be in a good spot.
So I must mention at this point, the wind is going like over the right shoulder of the player. It's kind of a tailwind, but it's pushing toward the lake. So I believe that's the reason you saw Missy and Valerie err on the side of turning it over a bit too much. And you can see Missy again just not wanting to let the disc fly up too high or too straight where the wind could push it over and easily find it out of bounds.
Missy probably going to end up going the back route, but Valerie is getting aggressive on the water side. Just about 5 or 10 feet, probably too far to the left, and she is going to take the OB stroke.
And Owen is going to fight the wind by throwing sidearm again on her second shot. Much more controlled, although I think she might be a little bit farther than she wants to be.
Kind of caught between backdoor and over the water a little bit.
And Haley says, well, why mess with laying up when you can just boom one around?
Oh, that's why you might want to mess with laying up. does find the OB on the road, and that is going to be a ways away from the basket.
That one just really got away on her.
Yeah.
Much better angle with Missy. Now she's turning the corner, and the wind can now carry the disc.
That was a very well thrown shot. Just totally under control the entire time. Didn't kind of just blast it up into the air. Just precise. Oh, man. Pressure time. Valerie really feels like she needs to make one up here, I imagine. A little bit of a tailwind, like you mentioned.
She's got good distance. That looks like it's excellent height.
Oh, perfect.
Oh my gosh. I was not expecting her to throw such a perfect shot. I don't know why. She looked like she was maybe a bit farther back, but that was a gorgeous shot by Valerie. And Owen gets all the way around.
Yeah, we saw Owen take a 10 triple P on this hole during round 1, so it's good to see maybe a slight adjustment here. Just play for the 5 and move on. Haley now after the OB stroke. Ooh.
So she plays one to hyzer in.
Pulls it off to the right. That angle not the best to see the flight of the disc, but she did kind of launch it straight into this tree right here that we saw Deanne behind during our round 3 coverage.
It's such a shame. There's almost no obstacles on this course, and she was squarely behind that.
Oh my, that sidearm
She hit the pole.
Oh, I love me a good turning sidearm, and that was so beautiful. I believe with her buzz. Whew. Really technical shot.
Missy, maybe 150 feet away.
Yep, pretty routine layup, and she's right under the bucket. Good shot. Oh, now with almost scarily close bid chance here.
Yeah. And you can see the wind is coming from a different direction now that we're up here on the peninsula. And we'll find this around the lake and indeed around the entire course. The wind does shift directions as you progress down many of these fairways, and it's something the women are getting used to. But I was talking to Sarah Holcomb after the round today, and she said, the wind every day of the tournament has been slightly different and completely different than all the practice days.
It is crazy how often that ends up happening, where the practice days, either they're calm or the wind's one way, and then it just flips for round 1.
Exactly.
Missy able to clean it up, her par, and Valerie, the very impressive par save after the second shot OB. They're all going to grab strokes on Haley, unfortunately, who does take that bogey, dropping her down to an even par through 3 rounds and 5 holes. Missy still on top. Hole 6, Elaine, I love this hole. It is so iconic. The beach hole, it's a beautiful drive, it's a dangerous hole, and there's always fun little artwork from the spotter.
Absolutely. And what we've seen really effective strategy on the hole, if you're a right-hand backhand thrower, is to throw a stable disc well out to the right, because this short grass allows huge amounts of skip.
Yeah, great point. The air shot, the high up shot, not optimal. You can see the Tpwdgc kind of carved in there from our spotter.
And the women love it when they come up to this basket and see that it's customized just for them.
Exactly. And he re-rakes it from each card that goes through. I don't know if it's the same exact spotter year after year, but I have to imagine it is. Own. Pulled it.
And we know that was a stable disc, but she really pulled it hard. So unfortunately, that is out of bounds. She'll have to go from the drop zone. That's much more what you want to do. The just classic, easy hyzer.
Perfect.
And Valerie right down in the beach sand.
Well, vacation living.
She could take off her shoes, wiggle her toes down there while she's at it. That looks a little high and short.
Catch the tree. It was high, it was short, but just high enough to catch the tree. She's okay. Haley now. You know she's got this shot in her bag. This is right up her alley.
It's looking good.
It just looks like such a comfortable shot for her. It's just so natural.
Yeah, it looked like she threw a mid-range because she did not get very much skip despite the skippy ground.
Oof. Missy right on line, a little bit low. Really, that's the safe side to putt from. Owen, not so safe on the putt. Oh, she was running it in.
She thought she had it. It's such a scary go for it from that drop zone, because if you miss the basket, then your putter's gone.
Yeah, see you later. And it's, there are those little reeds right there, but I swear it just sinks right into them, and it's just invisible.
And Valerie needing to muss up the beautiful letters because she has to step where her disc is. And Haley, of course, with that easy birdie as well.
Man, everybody just kind of tromping right there. Oh, Missy. It's all good. She's focused. She's laser focused on the goal.
She really needed to leap like a gazelle over that.
So the birdies for Valerie and Haley. Owen taking the unfortunate bogey, dropping her even further off pace. That's 1 over for the round.
So Valerie is caught up to Missy.
She has, and it's a tie ball game.
With Haley just breathing down their necks 1 stroke behind.
It's going to be a battle all the way down. It is even close on the chase card. There is not a lot of score separation even between, first, second, and third. It is bunched. Hole 7, the Clown's Mouth, 284 feet. Oof. So I heard today that you actually chop the pot on an ace. So the ace bounty is still alive. And if you would like to take money out of Drew Gibson's pocket, throw it in on this one.
Well, I hate to be a spoiler, but one of the men did so today.
No.
Yes, it was an ace. And, anytime you ace this hole, you're just hoping the basket gets in the way because you were zinging so far past it.
So there is the triple Mando, and that's really the feature portion of the hole, but there is that sneaky out-of-bounds long, as we see Missy wonderfully throw that right through the gap.
Oh, yeah, Owen turned that over too much. So that's 2 shots in a row where she's turned it more than she wanted to. So she'll have to think about that and correct it.
So no penalties for our group, but a couple of very, very tricky lies.
Oh, that's so awkward. But in fact, to be on the left side is not as hard as on the right side because Mahoney can do like that.
Great shot.
That's amazing. It's nice because you can put it well on its back and it's not going to get away on you. Whereas on this side, it's so tough to control the angle so it doesn't get away on you.
Not a bad effort, but, Valerie's 3 feet after the roller, so she's still got a little room to clean up as done.
Just ever so short. That was such a good look.
Ooh,
and
uncharacteristic.
A really rare miss. I was thinking, she lofted it up, giving herself, inside the circle.
Oh, big birdie from Missy.
She said, "I'll have my lead back."
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I love it too. I feel like I've never seen Missy not smiling. It's incredible. It's like 100% of the time. It's like one of my favorite personality traits in people. Valerie now tapping in the par as our gimbal cam dodges the live cam there.
Oh, there we go.
It's a nimble gimbal.
Slick, Elaine. Very slick. The bogey for Owen and the birdie for Missy means that the 1, 2, 3, we've got an even smaller straight than a small straight, but it's game time still. Hole 8, this is room for movement. We've not seen a bogey, I don't think, on this hole yet, but 5 kind of feels that way.
Yeah, definitely the women are looking to get a 4. It's a bit of a soft par 5. It's not all that long. It's only 700 feet, but it does have some very unique features. This sloping wall to the right, the narrow path to the left, and if it wasn't enough, now we've got just a couple of obstacles right in front of the basket, just in case you made it your way through cleanly.
In years past, too, sometimes there's like a baseball game going on at the same time while we're playing, so that's like a whole obstacle in itself. We got the announcer going off. This year, Don't think they scheduled in a Saturday game. Good shot. Good placement.
Yeah, if you can get at that, those last couple of trees or even ahead of it, that's a very solid drive.
Whew, that's just thrown well. It's not even that much farther than Missy's, though, but had great shape.
Well, she took a different line than Missy. Missy took the classical hyzer and Valerie the Anheuser. Now, Haley has to watch out that she doesn't find OB on this.
Oh, she does.
Yeah, again, she probably needed to keep that just flatter with that height. I don't think it was the height that was the problem. It was the flatness. And
and kind of finding a strange spot in the fairway.
she was really lucky it hit that
Yes.
tree because she was heading for OB. And she's overturning it again. I wonder if she's just maybe trying a little bit hard and she's got to just relax her shoulders, relax her muscles, and let the muscle memory take over.
Who was that?
That being said, I think
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Second shot in the OB.
I'm surprised it got that far.
Yeah, me too. Missy really just trying to avoid that OB patch that Owen just found. Play it into the middle.
So that's a beautiful shot. Nice and low. Hits a little bit of that berm, but it's low enough that it doesn't cause it to have some crazy skipping action. Now Valerie looks like she's significantly farther ahead, and she's got a more aggressive shot. But I think it turned over a lot sooner than she wanted it to turn over.
Gonna have a really strange angle coming into the green there.
And
oh my goodness, she's found OB again.
oh, I didn't realize it was that short. It was definitely tight.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really tough angle she's at. I mean, she's trying to bite off a lot.
Overcorrection kind of overturned the first one. Oh, look at this though.
Well, it got through, and it's going places.
Yeah. Not necessarily towards the basket, but at least she's in the open side.
And she'll probably have seen that come through and know that she's out in the clear at least.
Yeah, you can see Owen's disc there to the left, just barely sneaking into that OB, but it's the penalty all the same.
So, I mean, just going back to Haley for a moment, I think as Haley matures as a player, she's going to have to, absorb the lesson that when you make a mistake, you don't just try super hard on the next shot.
Absolutely.
Because that's what gets her into trouble, and that's why she sometimes takes big numbers where she didn't need to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100% correct. Just tourniquet shots. No sense getting too crazy.
And unfortunately, Missy put that kind of high, and it's hard to convince yourself how far to the left you need to put it. The basket's way up there to the right, but those shots coming in around the berm, you have to keep hugging the wood line to the left for longer than you think, frankly.
Valerie opting for the Sabat, the Hyzer bomb disc. Really kind of feels like a max, super overstable. Is going to be in position to make that putt, though.
And that was a great shot from where she was up and
Yes.
pinned. And she did, like I was advising, she kept it wide,
true.
and it skipped in a little at the end. And now she's going to have a clear putt to the basket.
Oof, Missy with an appetizing run here, but it is from distance, and this hill slopes down to the left, so, not the safest bid.
And it ends up being just a layup, and she's got just a tap in there. Oh, that was so close.
Very close and
Oh,
not what you want.
She's going to get almost the same putt again. Hopefully she can correct.
Oh, no mark. Stand and deliver. Gotta respect the confidence. You don't need that extra foot. Oh, don't do it again. Ugh.
Both those putts were right on the line, and just that height control is so tough when you're putting uphill. And there is a little tiny bit of wind too, and it's probably not enough to really affect anything, but it's hard to convince yourself that it doesn't.
Good putt by Owen, cleaning up after the OB stroke. The fantastic sidearm to even get into position there. That's good cleanup.
And Owen's another one who has a smile on her face frequently.
I was going to say it. She kind of came back onto the scene recently after, she was at the top of the FPO field for years and took a few years off as a break. Now, maybe the last 18 months really hitting it back hard into the scene and touring full time this year. It's just been great to have her on tour all year.
And hole 8 was really tough on Valerie and Haley, but got to keep going. Hole 9 is all kinds of trouble. It is mostly out of bounds.
Yes.
There's only a small inbounds bit, and it really is quite narrow. It's not even 30 feet round the basket of clear inbound space. So the stronger players can go right at the basket, but if you're not confident that you can make the distance, you have to go kind of way around to the right. And there we have an example of Missy playing it way around to the right.
Green is good. Ooh, she was holding her breath just like me. That was close.
Yeah, it got a little farther than she was expecting. And this hole is somewhat uphill. So although it's 316 and you think, oh yeah, all these women can throw 316, it's 316 a little bit uphill, so it's going to play more like 340.
Valerie's going to try and deuce this one. She's got all the power needed. Come on back. Oh, just a little much. Ooh. Big, tall shot.
And it looks like Haley decided that it was just too tricky to try and dial in that landing zone, so she pulled it way to the right and successfully staying inbounds.
Owen going back to the rock 3. She loves it so much, and that's why. Good shot. Haley going zone for the approach. Ooh, a little high.
Yeah, but it's diving.
Perfect.
The zone is so stable.
Yeah, great point. Almost like an extended drop zone look here from Missy. She's just going to be looking to put this one next to the bricks, though.
Yeah, she was pretty happy it was in bounds, so no need to do anything crazy.
Oh.
Whoops.
Yeah, really would like to have pushed that, but she still is at least at a reasonable putt distance.
And Valerie from the drop zone doesn't have much of an option to run it.
Missy, this is pressure. Gallery behind the basket.
Beautiful. And it's a sizable gallery. I mean, there are a few hundred people for sure.
Yeah, yesterday during the round 3, weather, bit of an issue. Hard to say what the forecast was going to be, so not quite as many spectators, but they showed up in droves on Saturday. There was a ton of people there.
And of course, people are off work on Saturday, so it's much easier for people to be able to take the time to come out.
Yeah, kind of a unique tournament, Wednesday through Saturday, rather than having 2 days on, or 2 rounds on the weekend, but Saturday ends up being just a special moment out here at Winthrop. Valerie does take that bogey, dropping her even further off pace. So after 9 holes, we've got Missy with a 2-stroke lead over Haley and 3 over Valerie.